Hello and welcome to the Nope Coach podcast. This is episode 320, just in case you need a spoon. I'm your host, Suzanne Kohlberg. I am back. If you are new to the show, you might be like, what is she talking about? I've just spent 2 weeks in fabulous New Zealand on a cruise, and I got back this morning and we disembarked the ship at 6:30 a.m. We made it back to our home at 8:15, and then it was a mad dash to get the kids off to school because it's a school day. I took them out of school. I'm that mum to do a vacation. And it was in the mad dash. It was funny. I was checking the post box, and in the mail was this spoon with a note attached saying, just in case you need a spoon to get through the day when you get back from New Zealand. So shout out to my sister Shirley. I loved this so much. So much that I'm doing a whole episode on it. If you're new to the show, one of my very first episodes was if you've got no spoons. You can scroll back and listen to that, but it's worth reiterating over 300 episodes later. The spoon theory, it is not my creation. I'm not sure who to attribute it to. It was originally for mental health, but I think across the spectrum, it's such a great idea. The idea is at the beginning of each day, we have so many spoons allocated to us. So if you imagine you have done all your washing the night before, your kitchen is clean, and you open the drawer, there's all your clean spoons. So as the theory goes, say you have 100 spoons, each task, each request, each thing that you do requires a certain number of spoons. So there are planned spoon spendings. Like this morning, I knew we were getting back in really early. I knew I wanted to get the kids to school. Then there's unplanned spoon spendings, like when the kids didn't have their uniform laid out and I'd asked them to, or when you have a flat tire, or you go to have the milk and it's gone off, or something like that. Or little things like somebody sends you a message and verbally emotionally dumps on you unprepared, or you're just having the bad, sad, mad kind of day. So sometimes you're running on very few spoons. And what can you do to replenish your spoon allocation, to wash the dishes, particularly when you just can't be asked? So this, a spoon to get me through the day, I was so amused by, because I just got back from vacation. I should be like zen and all that sort of thing. But when you get back, all the things that you haven't done for the last 2 weeks weren't taken care of. It's suddenly dumped on your lap. 2 weeks worth of emails, 2 weeks worth of the lawn. The lawn, it must have been quite hot and rainy while I was away because it looks like a jungle, and all the mail to go through and all that sort of stuff. Plus catching the kids up on homework school. As I said, we chose to take them out during the school holidays, during the school term, so there is that. But getting back from a holiday, sometimes it's like, oh, I need a holiday from my holiday. And also, 4 people, one cabin on a cruise ship for 2 weeks. We're, as much as we love each other, we're all kind of sick of each other as well and wanting that space. So all of these things to say, what replenishes your spoons? What gives you more energy? What gives you more vitality? And for each different person, it's going to be a different thing. I love to read. I love to be alone. Like, even though I just got back from a trip, as I said, 4 of us in a little cabin. On a cruise ship, you're never really alone. Even if I go for a walk on the deck, every person, hello, 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 which is polite and kind and nice, but also for the introverted me is like, could you just not? Could you just not talk to me, please? So being alone, time in water, so bath, shower, beach. I don't live near the beach, but just viewing the water, so I can go looking back through the cruise photos. Diamond dotting, if you don't know what that is, it's kind of like a lazy person's cross stitch. You have a sticky background and these little dots that you put in place. For my sister Shirley, who's no doubt listening to this because you sent me the spoon, thanks sis. I know gardening, spending time with her animals. She has birds, and then birds, like incredible amount of that. For other people, it could be cross-stitching, it could be socializing, it could be sport, it could be, I don't know, running, jumping, boxing. For my husband, gaming. He likes playing games on the Xbox. What is your thing that replenishes your spoons, your capacity, your ability to deal with life's invariable up and downs? And how do you know that you're needing that little recharge time before your spoons are exhausted and you're just ripping into everyone? And other things that people enjoy doing, games on their phone, like Candy Crush or something. I was on the cruise and one of the assistant cruise directors said she was on level 8,900 or something. I don't know, like quite a high number. And she was having a lot of guilt and stuff about that. And I was thinking, but if that is your 5 minutes of me time, if that's your mini break amongst all the at you all day, why are we vilifying that? Like, if you're playing Candy Crush and not taking care of your day-to-day and ignoring everything and that's a whole different story. But if you just need that, few minutes of me time and playing Candy Crush, I often play, I'm playing one called Royal Match. I really enjoy that while listening to podcasts. So it's kind of like I'm double dipping, listening to podcasts, playing Royal Match. That's my, 5-10 minutes of me time. I deliberately pick games apps that you have a limited lifespan, so I can't get stuck playing it for, hours on end. But this is leading into another topic, and I might do another episode on this, the difference between self-care and a shadow comfort. I got that concept from Jennifer Loudon. She has a bunch of books. Highly recommend reading her stuff. You could do something as self-care, 5 minutes of Candy Crush, a couple of chapters of a book, an episode of a TV show. When it becomes shadow comfort is when you do it to excess, and then you have other things that are needing your attention and you don't do them. So instead of watching one episode, you binge an entire season. Or instead of playing 5 minutes of Candy Crush, you play it for hours. Or instead of reading a couple of chapters of a book and unwinding, you're staying up to 3 a.m. wondering what happened. So, there is a difference here between something that is self-care, that does rebuild your spoons, your capacity, your ability, and something that becomes a shadow comfort is when it's done to excess. And often we end up doing it to excess when we've got no spoons. Like, you just keep soldering on and pushing through past the point of exhaustion. I was going to launch into song for those of you who love Phantom of the Opera, Past the Point of No Return. If you don't know that musical, you'll be like, what on earth is she on about? But when you've run out of spoons, when your allocation is exhausted, that's often when you go to the shadow comfort, binge an entire season, read book after book, stay up past your bedtime with an unhealthy appreciation for tomorrow, eat too much because you've let it go too far. So to wrap this episode up today, just in case you need a spoon, what are the things that refill your cup? I really encourage you to pause. If you're listening to this, pause, use notes on your phone, grab a notebook, whatever it is, make a list. What are the things that improve my mood, make me feel better, recharge me energetically? It could even be naps. I napped nearly every day on the cruise. I was like, I love naps. Like, I don't know why we lose that along the way. Like, when we're really young and we're babies and small children, we have naps and then we stop. We totally should bring back the naps. And what are the signs that you're starting to need those things? And how can you allow yourself to have that instead of pushing through and going 5 more minutes, 1 more hour, 1 more task, 1 more thing, and then getting to the point where you're so exhausted when your spoons are gone, that instead of having that self-care 10-15 minute nap, 10-15 minutes reading your book, sitting in the sun, playing Candy Crush or whatever, it becomes staying up way too late, ignoring all your responsibilities, and then you're saying, oh, I never have any fun in my life because I can't control myself or whatever, because that has become a shadow comfort. And if you can really see the difference between this, it is a game changer. Because if you notice that, you don't have many spoons in the drawer in your actual house, you're like, oh, better do the dishes or I won't be able to eat. How can we do that energetically with our energetics, with our ability to interact and connect with others and get things done? Hey, I'm feeling low on capacity. I've overdrawn my budget of social or, expenditure. Because sometimes, I don't know about you, but you can be like, I got nothing done today. Like, I absolutely did nothing, but you did heaps. Like, paid the bills, responded to emails, cleaned the house, did the grocery shopping, all of these things, but you don't count them because they're not productive. And then you wonder why you're exhausted. So all of this to say, what are your signs that you're low on spoons? For me, I get really snappy, like really snappy about the most littlest of things. Or I just find myself opening the pantry or the fridge. I'm not hungry, but I'm just going to stand in front of the fridge. It's like, that's a sign that my spoons are low. And what kind of things replenish them? And notice when you go to do them, a little voice in your head, oh, it's exorbitant to have a nap. Oh, nice for some. Oh, I shouldn't be doing this. Oh, this isn't productive. This isn't income producing. But when you take that time to allow yourself to rebuild your capacity, to clean your spoons by resting, diamond dotting, reading, gardening, playing with your animals, whatever it is, how much more productive are you? How much more can you get done because you're not overdrawn, overexhausted, dare I say, burnt out? So I hope this has been helpful. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you, everybody who wished me happy birthday. I had a fabulous trip. If you follow my personal account on Facebook, Suzanne Kohlberg, there's so many photos there from the trip. I don't respond to DMs about my business on my personal page. So literally you can just have a look at the trip and catch up on all that. Otherwise, a place to find out more is my email. So if you go to my website, suzannekohlberg.com, click on newsletter, sign up for my emails. You'll get lots of updates, photos, pics, stories, more than I do on the podcast about the trip. I'd love to keep you informed. And anything you want to ask, message, connect with me via email, info@suzannekohlberg.com. Send me an email. I love to chat, but yeah, just not in the DMs. They're not my thing. I keep social media for its name, social, not for conducting business. Thanks for tuning in. Hope to catch you on the next one. Bye for now.